The area median income, or AMI, just increased by about 7.73%. In my city of Sacramento, the new AMI increased as follows. The 120% AMI is $136,680. For the 100% AMI, it increased to $113,900. And the 80% AMI is now at $91,120. What
does that mean?
I'm glad you asked. When the AMI goes up, it means more first-time homebuyer will qualify for better loans and down payment assistance programs. Here are two examples. With 3% down, a 760 credit score on a conventional loan, a first-time homebuyer making less than 120% of the AMI, the interest rate is 6.99% versus 7.25% for someone who makes more than 120% AMI. Now, let's keep it the same scenario, but both borrowers have a 700 credit score. The first-time homebuyer making less than 120% AMI will maintain the same interest rate of 6.99%, while the person with a 700 credit score, the interest rate has jumped up to 7.5%. Now, is that fair? I'll let you be the judge of that. Secondly, having an AMI under 80% allows you to qualify for certain loan programs and more favorable rates. If you're under 80% AMI, you'll qualify for a CalHEFA 3% down payment assistance loan at 6.375%. If you make more, your rate increases to 6.5%. And that's Mortgage House with Sue. Hey, thanks for watching my mortgage video or for skipping it. The latter part of this video is going to be focusing on the movie Menace II Society. This film was released when I was just 4 years old in 1993, and I only watched it for the first time just last year. As someone who enjoys comedy movies, I saw the parody of this film called Don't Be a Menace, long title before the original, featuring Marlon Wayans, and I love that movie. But here are my thoughts on Menace II Society. It's a very tough film to watch. The main character is a guy named Kane, experiences a loss of his parents due to drugs. One was a user and the other was involved in a dealing that went haywire. He grows up under the care of his grandparents and basically narrates his story. In short, Kane goes through life in a constant struggle for survival. He engages in stealing, partying, deals with friends, girlfriends, corrupt police, love, family, and eventually he meets a very tragic end. During my childhood, my family of 11, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. Growing up, I witnessed a drive-by shooting near our apartment. It basically happened very early in the morning. I don't know what time, but I was fast asleep. I don't know where my dad just kind of woke us up and told us to lay low on the floor, moved us from the bed back to the floor. And you could hear the shooting continue for a few more seconds. It kind of stopped, and then you could hear the tires screeching as like the car sped away. I was probably 7 or 8 years old at the time. I've also been in a robbing situation as well. I had $2 in food stamps. I don't know if you guys remember that, but went to a liquor store through a shortcut, knowing full well people have already told us never to use it. And lo and behold, a group of individuals stopped me, my sister, and my brother midway. They pulled out a little pocket knife, like a Swiss knife, and just threatened to kill us if we didn't give up what we had. That group had one girl in it. She's basically my angel. She told the guy holding the knife to just kind of let us go, which he did, but then he told us to come back the same way. And of course we didn't, and I've never used that shortcut again. Sometimes I wish I could see that girl again, just thank her for speaking up and getting that group to let us through. At that time, again, I was 8 or 9 years old. A funny thing is I also even engaged in theft. At that same liquor store where I used my $2, I stole something. I remember watching my friends steal, and it seemed so effortless that I decided to give it a try. I was all alone by myself when I grabbed this gummy bear type watch and I placed it in my pocket. And as I got closer to the exit, I heard the man behind the counter say, "Hey!" And I kind of just panicked. And I darted out there without even looking back until I reached the end of the street. I felt this overwhelming sense of guilt and fear. It took me about like 2 years before I gathered the courage to step foot in that store again. As I was just so afraid he might, recognize me and take me to jail. And that was me as a 9 or 10-year-old at the time. Another thing about my family is that even though we didn't have much wealth, my parents always had enough food to put on the table and a roof over our heads. But then for us to make this extra money, we would like collect cans for recycling. Me and my friends, We didn't mind jumping into big or small trash cans. Which one of these big trash cans we could jump in, and the smell didn't really bother us too because we did it so often. It was like such a daily routine. We would recycle, make some money. But the best thing about those trash cans were that if you found like this plastic bottle of Coke or Sprite, there's a chance that you could win a free soda. And I really liked that. We all were excited to just kind of fight for that bottle so we can go back to the liquor store or any kind of convenience store and exchange it for a free soda. And we would just share it with all of us. To this day, I am very lucky to have had a group of people who taught me how to play games, participate in sports, enjoy life, and cultivate friendships. Just like the grandpa in the movie, I had an exceptional mentor whom I listened to and learned from. And I encourage everyone to, yeah, just be the best you can be and do the right thing. All right.